The future moves fast. The AvePoint Shift Happens podcast is your edge, where leaders unpack AI, data, modern work, and the mindset shifts that turn change into advantage. Hear what top innovators are trying next and how to make it work. Visit avpt.co/shift today.
When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. Man, check this out. On this episode, what I want to talk about is time. More specifically, do you have time? Or maybe you don't. I came to this episode because I'm always concerned about time because I'm very time conscious. I've always been time conscious. But the thing that I won't allow people to do is waste my time. Time is a very precious commodity that we have. We don't know how much of it we actually have. And therefore, I think it's very important that we spend our time and our efforts wisely. I came to this episode because I got a phone call wishing me a happy birthday. And it was probably about 6 months after my birthday. My birthday was in December, right? And so I get the call in June. It's one of my homegirls. I hadn't talked to her. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not getting to you. But I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. And I'm like, gee, thanks. Because the next birthday is coming around. It'll be here before you know it. And, she meant well and everything. But the thing that stood out to me in the initial part of the conversation was she said, man, I've just been so busy. Okay. And then she said it again and she's like, bro, you don't understand. I've just been so busy. So many things are going on. And I get it. Can you get tied up in your life and in your world? Of course. We all do to some degree. But are we really that busy? So that's the question I want to throw out to you all. Are we as busy as we say we are? Do you really have time? Like I said, she said to me that she was busy. She said it like 3 times during the conversation. And to me, again, listen, I wasn't mad that I didn't hear from her on my birthday. It's fine. People get caught up in stuff. I don't trip off stuff like that, right? Now, if my mom didn't wish me a happy birthday, then I'd have a problem. But other than that, I'm cool, right? And the fact that she thought of me 6 months later, it's a little late, but it's cool, right? But here's the thing. I don't necessarily allow people to tell me how busy they are because we're all busy if you think about it. Take me for an example. I work for a living. I'm not independently wealthy like my friends King Germ and Uncle Dolomite. King Germ from the Pod and Saved Our Marriage podcast and Uncle Dolomite from the Too Much Game podcast. I'm not independently wealthy like those brothers. I happen to be friends with them and I'm happy that they're wealthy, but I'm not in that boat. I'm not a rich podcaster. But I work. I have a wife. I have 4 kids, 2 of whom at the time of this recording are in college. One of whom is getting ready to go to college. And I'm a podcaster. And, I'm a dad that, moves around for work. I do different things. I have different hobbies. I have a network of friends. I have mother, father, brother, sister, family that I try to keep in contact with. So, and I'm on social media for what it's worth. So kind of busy, you could say. But I got 24 hours in a day just like everybody else, right? And so we all have 24 hours in a day, and it's really about what you make of the 24 hours that you have. So at the end of the day, are you busy or not? Or do you have time for people? Or do you have time for yourself? One of the things that I've learned throughout my life is always make time for yourself. I think that's important. I think it's important for you to have the wherewithal to carve out time for yourself to do whatever it is that you want to do, whether it be a hobby or chores or anything that you want to do. And then make sure that you have time to relax and chill. I mean, that's one thing I think our older generation, like my parents and my grandparents, they didn't really have time to do was relax and chill. It seems like they were always on the go. And for some, it could have and may have pushed them into an early grave. That ain't gonna be me. While I can't control how long I'll be here, but the plan is to be here for as long as possible. And I'm gonna have some fun while I'm here. And that's what I've done. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to make do and take advantage of the 24 hours that we have. And so when I hear people say that they've been busy, are you really busy, or have you just are you just too busy for that particular person? Because we make time for whatever we want to make time for. And I'll talk about that in just a second. One of my favorite people, in the world, he's no longer here, but my high school football coach, the late, great Virgil Wells. Coach Wells used to always say, you have to have a respect for time. Time waits for no man. And he would say that all the time when I was in high school. And it wasn't until I got to college at South Carolina State University in the fall of 1991 that I realized exactly what he was talking about. You must have a respect for time. Time waits for no one. He would always say that. And it didn't really register when I was in high school, but it started clicking once I got to college. Make time to get yourself prepared to go to class. Make time to get yourself prepared to go to football practice. Make time to get yourself prepared to go to church. Make time for yourself to get prepared to go to the movies or whatever it is that you're going to do. Create time for that. Don't be just rushing out the house. He would tell us things like that. And it really kind of became a thing for me where I really hated being late for anything. Even to this day, I hate being late to anything. If I'm going to the movies and the movie starts at 6:00, I'll probably be at the movie theater at 5:15. And I know you don't have to be there that early, but I would rather be somewhere early than be late. I don't even like going to, when I did go into an office for work, I didn't even like going into work late. And I know, you don't have any control over traffic or anything like that, but nah, that's not my thing. It's not my steez. And that's not how I get down. It's never has been. So, I try to make the best use of my time. I do remember as a child, one of the funniest things, at least now it's funny. It wasn't funny back then, but we would get our report card, right? And probably from the second grade all the way through sixth grade, report card would look good, A's, B's, that type of thing. Never any C's. But with the little section where your teachers could comment, I would always get the same comment. And it would say, Kyle doesn't use his time wisely. And, I couldn't understand why I kept getting that comment. And it didn't matter if I had all A's. It was Kyle doesn't use his time wisely. Well, what is Kyle doing that is preventing him from using his time wisely? Well, one, he is, finishing his work, and instead of moving on to something else, Kyle does what he wants to do. Instead of, when he finishes work, instead of doing his homework in class, he'd rather talk to his friends. He'd rather go, play, I don't know, on the computer. Shout out to shout out to the Apple computer back in the day. But that was constantly on my report card, and I really couldn't understand why. And my parents told me, like, look, when you're done with a task, move on to the next task. But you have a certain amount of time. Use that time to do whatever it is you're supposed to do, and then you can do what you want to do. And it took me a long time to figure that out. Like I said, that was on my report card every single time from probably second grade to sixth grade. And that's pretty much all of elementary school. I didn't use my time wisely. But I got to a point where I learned that I had to, because again, time waits for nobody. It's we only have a certain amount of time to do the things that we're supposed to do. We probably have even less time to do the things we want to do. So it's incumbent upon us to take advantage of time. You don't want to let time beat you up. But ultimately, I go back to the question I asked a little earlier. Are we really that busy? She hit me up, and I'm not going to say her name because she knows who she is, and I'm sure she's going to see or hear this podcast. But she hit me up and she said, like, I'm sorry, I haven't contacted you in the last 6 months, but I've been really, really busy. I mean, I really probably would have understood if she didn't say anything. She was like, hey, man, I'm just hitting you up. I mean, I appreciated the birthday wishes, albeit it was 6 months later. But, don't tell me you're busy. Don't tell me that the reason why I haven't heard from you in 6 months is that you've been busy. Because what that tells me is that I'm not a priority. And as a friend, if I'm not a priority to you, then soon you won't be a priority to me. And I mean, that's just the way that it is. And I think as we get older, we find out who and what are priorities in our life. And it's fine if you're at level 5 and you got to move somebody down to level 1. It is what it is. You just have to make sure that you don't have someone at level 5 on your list of priorities and they have you at level 1, because you should be even. But again, don't get me wrong, I was happy to hear from her. And again, it's a good friend of mine. We go way back. I was happy to hear from her, but you can't tell me you were busy. I probably could understand any and everything else, but you giving me the excuse that you were busy, that didn't really fly with me. But, I kept it pushing. I didn't even mention it in the conversation. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, really? You were that busy that you just now hit me up 6 months later? Okay. If that's the lie you want to roll with, we can roll with it. I tell you what, it's time for a quick commercial break. And after the break, we'll come back and I'll tell you a little bit more about time and why we're probably not as busy as we think we are. Sit tight. We'll be back in just a second. And just like that, we are back. Once again, it's your boy 12 Kyle. This is the 12 Kyle podcast. And we're talking about time. Do you have time or don't you have time? Before the break, I mentioned something about priority. Are people, a priority to you? And who amongst your peers or family or friends are a priority? I think, in the scenario that I talked about, I found out quickly that I'm probably not as big a priority in my friend's life as I thought I was. And listen, I'm perfectly cool with that, because in the same time that she didn't call me, I didn't call her either. So we're kind of on level playing field. I wasn't hurt or disappointed by what she had to say. It's just, I think things kind of came to reality.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. ServiceTitan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades.
When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
So it got me to thinking, like, how important is it to stay in touch with people? I think for me, it's very important, particularly my friends and family. I will say this much though, even with that, if you think about it, there's really no excuse. And the reason why I say that is because, like, we're in a society now based on the technology that we have. There's no reason not to stay in touch. Because if you think about it, you really have access to everybody. There's not one person that you can't get in contact with. If they're in your phone, you probably can get in contact with them. And to be honest, they don't even necessarily have to be in your phone. Think about it like this. Vibe with me on this. How many people do you know that you can't get in contact with them at all? Or if you don't have any contact information on them, you don't know anybody else who has their contact information. Those number of people, you probably can count them on one hand, and you probably won't use all of your fingers. My point in saying all of that is that we have access to any and everybody that we want to have access to. So when you tell people you've been busy and that's the reason why you haven't kept in touch, I mean, that's really a cop-out if you think about it. I understand people get slammed at work. Everybody doesn't work a 9 to 5. I get it. But at some point, if people are important to you, you should grab the phone and at the very least, send them a text. At the very least, give them a phone call. Hey, man, I didn't want anything. Just wanted to tell you what's up. You came across my mind. Was thinking about you. I love you. I'll holler. That's a 5-minute convo right there. Now, granted, I do know some people, and I may be related to some people that you call them, it's never a 5-minute conversation. Shout out to my cousin Tammy, who anytime I talk to Tammy, we're on the phone for 2 hours. And if we're on the phone for 2 hours, I promise you, I probably talk about 5 minutes. Tammy's got the other 155. But I love her to life. But that's just how we are. We don't talk every day. We don't talk every month. But when I talk to her, I know that it's going to be a 2-hour conversation, so I govern myself accordingly. But we still stay in touch. And I think that's important. But when you say, I don't have any means of getting in contact with you, like I said, there are very few people that you cannot get in contact with. Now, it could be somebody in your phone who, I don't know, maybe you lost their number, maybe they changed their number, maybe they got booed up and they decided to delete their number. That happens. But I'm sure you could still find somebody who could give you their contact information. You're not just walking around not being able to contact people. So for me, the importance of staying in touch is very high. I just don't allow people to hit me with the BS of saying that, oh, I'm just so busy, or I forgot to hit you up. No, you didn't. Again, maybe I'm not high on your level of priority, and that's cool because I can put you where you have me, and we can be super cool at that. But I think at the end of the day, it's important, and it should be important to you to maintain and keep contact with people, particularly the people in your circle that you care about and the people that care about you. Far too often we hear about people going through things and, some self-medicate to try to cope. Others do other things. Sometimes people do bodily harm to themselves. And the first thing they say, well, who's in contact with them? How are they mentally? I think that stuff is important. Not that I think that people are gonna, harm themselves, but and that's the extreme, right? My point in saying all of that is that you have to make time for everybody. And more importantly, you have to make time for yourself. That's a given. But now, given with all the technology that we have, I mean, like, there's really no excuse. Again, at the very least, you don't have to pick up the phone to call somebody. You can shoot off a text. Hey, man, just thinking about you. Hey, girl, hey, lady, you on my mind. That type of thing. And it doesn't have to be anything, relational or sexual or anything like that. That could be for anybody. That could be for your granny. Hey, granny, I was just letting you know I was thinking about you. It's just that simple. So the importance of staying in touch, I think, is very important. But for people not to hold it in high regard, that really kind of speaks volumes about them. And it also may indicate where you rank in their list of priorities and their feelings. Because here's the thing. I think if you're close to somebody and you don't talk on a day-to-day basis, whenever you talk, I really feel like you just pick up where you left off. Like, example, I got one of my great friends from college, my homegirl, Crystal. Crystal and I, we always say, hey, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you. I'm going to call. She'll say, I'm going to call you. I'll tell her I'm going to call her. We never call each other. But you know what? We went to college together at South Carolina State. And so we see each other every year at homecoming. And when I see her, we literally pick up where we left off. So if I hadn't talked to Crystal in 365 days, I know when I see her on that 366th day that we're going to pick up where we left off. And the conversation is just going to pick up right there. Well, hey, how's the kids? How's the wife? How are your kids? Like that type of thing. And that's just how we are. Now, we probably should do a better job of keeping in touch. But I mean, like, and I can't say, I can't make up any excuses because I have none. And I know what she's going to say as soon as I see her. She's going to say, I thought you were going to call me. Or you were supposed to call me because I text her on her birthday. And she'll text me on my birthday. And that's what it's been for like the last 10 years. But we're still cool like that. She is still somebody I consider to be a great friend, even though we don't talk as much as we probably should. And that's cool. But I think if you're close, you just pick up where you left off. And then I have friends like my boy Jay Fresh. Jay Fresh and I communicate every day. If we don't talk on the phone, we text. Pretty much text mostly. But I mean, we'll talk at least probably twice a week. But it's constant, and it's like Jay Fresh lives in LA. And, even though the time difference, like he'll shoot me a text at like 4 a.m. It's 1 a.m. for him because he's up. Me, it's 4 a.m. for me. Or sometimes I'll text him like as soon as I go to the gym in the morning, it's 6 o'clock. It's 3 a.m. for him, but he's up. He's a night owl. So I think it's important to keep those type of friendships and relationships, and particularly with friends and family. When time goes on, after a certain amount of time, I don't really know how much catching up you can do. Like, if there's somebody in your life that you haven't talked to in 15 years, I mean, you could talk to them, but I mean, what are you really going to say? You're going to say, oh yeah, I went to college, I graduated, and I got a job. How about you? That's about it. I mean, like, you can't go and, I don't know that you can catch somebody up from 15 years of not communicating. You probably could, but, that's built over a period of time. But, no, I think it's about using the time wisely. It's about, maintaining those friendships, maintaining those relationships with family members. I think all of that stuff is important. But I also think, like I said, being able to pick up where you left off. And if you communicate daily, then, just keeping that bond and keeping everything strong. But you can't use the excuse of, well, I don't have time. Because here's the thing, if I have time to communicate with Jay Fresh, then I really got time to communicate with my homegirl, Crystal. And if I got time to communicate with Crystal, I have time to communicate with my brother. If I have time to communicate with my brother, I have time to communicate with my kids. If I have time to communicate with my kids, I have time to communicate with my wife. We have to prioritize all of this. And again, we all get the same 24 hours. No more, no less. It's what we do with it. It goes back to the note that I got on my report card. Do you use your time wisely? Because at the end of the day, again, time is a precious commodity. We don't know how much of it we have, but we do know that we get a certain amount of hours each day, and it's what we do with those hours. In conclusion, I'd like to say that going back to, my initial thoughts, like I said, I'm not mad at my friend. But I think if we're being honest, she's not as busy as she thinks she is, and neither am I. Even with the family and the podcast and work and all of this other stuff, I got time. I do. I have time to talk to her. And she has time to talk to me. We just haven't. And judging from the conversation we had, and it was a great conversation, we probably won't talk. We may shoot a text here and there. In fact, I'll probably text her when I finish this episode. But we don't talk that much. And I'm okay with that. We don't talk as much as we used to. But I think we can't fool ourselves and say, well, the reason why we're not talking as much is because I don't have time. No, you got time, but you decide to do other things with your time, and that's cool. Just understand this. We have a certain amount of time, and we have to use that time wisely for whom and for what we want. And I'll leave you with this quote, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but I think it's perfect for this episode. Nobody lays on their deathbed thinking, I was too busy to do this or too busy to do that. They always say, I wish I had more time. Like Coach Wells said, time waits for no man. We all must have a respect for time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. The podcast drops every Thursday and every Sunday at midnight. If you're on social media, hit us up. You can follow me and the podcast at 12 Kyle, at 12 Kyle Podcast on Twitter X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. If you have YouTube, thank you for watching us on YouTube. Appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. The great thing about our YouTube channel is that we have both audio and video, and hit the notification button. That way you can get notified anytime we drop an episode. If you'd like to contribute to the podcast financially, please do so. Look in the description box. There's a link that says merch. Click that link and you can purchase 12 Kyle merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, and we also have posters as well as coffee mugs like the one I'm holding right here. And you can also hit us up on Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. We also have a Reddit channel. If you'd like to keep this discussion going, hit us up on Reddit, Reddit.com/12 Kyle Podcast. Again, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. Cheers.
Working across teams is tough, but Asana helps you handle it. That's because Asana is where humans and AI coordinate work together. AI can spot roadblocks and assign work in a snap, so everything and everyone stays on track. That's how work gets handled. That's Asana. Visit us at asana.com. That's ASANA.com.
If you work in university maintenance, Grainger considers you an MVP because your playbook ensures your arena is always ready for tip-off. And Grainger is your trusted partner. offering the products you need all in one place, from HVAC and plumbing supplies to lighting and more, and all delivered with plenty of time left on the clock, so your team always gets the win. Call 1-800-GRANGER, visit Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.